friends.
And welcome back to yet another fun-filled and exciting episode of your favorite show, My Zone Active Kids, where we actively invest in your future.
Whose future?
Your future. My name is, of course, Aziza, and I am here with my bestie Westie.
Hi, friends. I'm, of course, Sancho Kapofi, and I'm really excited because what other way to end off your week than with us, and, of course, while we are outside.
That's right, friends. Of course, it's Friday, and guess what? We are outside. We are ending off our theme for the week, of course, at the Independence Museum of Namibia. So I want you guys to stay tuned and stick around because there's a little interesting part that we want to see. So if you've been paying attention this week, you will remember that we have spoken about the Robben Island. Isn't that right, Hancho?
Most definitely. Oh my God, you just gave it away. You gave it still away.
Okay.
But it's, of course, all right because now you guys know what to expect within today's episode. Don't forget that you can catch us every day, Monday to Friday, on that, of course, DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 94 at 10 o'clock. And, of course, on our MyZone and Facebook, MyZone
And Zoshi's Facebook pages.
at 9 a.m.
That's right. So, Hansha and I are going to take a peek look, but you guys stay tuned as we have some interesting fun coming up.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts. Just like that. Oh, did I tell you what my husband
Even
did?
me. Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking, or cell phone banking, and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?
Well, guys, I know you haven't seen it all yet, but we are now inside the museum. But before we take a little tour around the rest of the museum, there's one little place I want you guys to see. Now, if you remember pretty well, we spoke a lot about Robben Island. So I don't know who of you remember, but Robben Island, right, was the prison cell where Nelson Mandela was arrested. So he stayed there in Robben Island for quite a while. So as you can see right here, we have a replica of this prison cell. So let's take a quick little tour and see what we find inside. Well, this is the cell. Okay, no, it's a replica of the cell that Nelson Mandela used to be in. So I know we didn't mention this piece before, but there were a few of our Namibian heroes in Robben Island as well. So this is how we know, and this is why it's in a Namibian museum, because some of them were also in Robben Island. So this is how tight and tiny it is. And best believe me, this cell wasn't just shared by one person. So in this cell we have a few things that were in Robben Island. As you can see, there are portraits of how the infrastructure looked on the outside, the buildings, it was close, the harbor to get to Robben Island, and the fences around Robben Island. So it was quite a segregated space.
So true. And if you look closely, you'll see the spoons and the plates that they used in the Robben Island. You'll see some seashells as well as some logs right in there. And it's all part of Robben Island. And did you know that on Robben Island, Nelson Mandela shared a cell with one very, very renowned Namibian hero?
And who is that?
Precious, I know you like nobody else. This is Andimba Toivoya Toivo, who, of course, shared a cell with the late Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. And if you look closely, you'll see how it was. Of course, within the prison, there were also some double beds, and this is all how it looked like. And also some of the clothes that they had on the Robben Island. This is what the prisoners wore, and I just really, really, really love this replica of the cell.
I know, and you know what I remember that we spoke about during the week was the conditions that they lived in, right? And if you see right there in that box, that is some of the attire that they wore as prisoners in Robben Island. So, you know, they had, you know, if you can zoom in really closely, there's like a vest, a green vest there, and they have like a small towel, some beige and khaki uniform. So that was basically what all the prisoners in Robben Island wear. So this is like a small insight into Nelson Mandela's life in Robben Island.
Yes.
Right? And I know we did mention that it was really the circumstances in which they lived were so harsh, and they couldn't even send out letters, or the
So
letters
true.
were blocked out. They were made to farm on the farms close by to Robben Island. You know, I know we spoke about the limestone that they farmed, or that they were mining rather, in Robben Island.
Yeah.
So this exact cell gives us a great show of what Robben Island looked like. Like this image shows here, it's a literal island. It's a literal island outside Cape Town, right, in South Africa. And if you look closer, you can even see the Table, Mountain. Right, I know.
So I really enjoyed visiting this cell today.
I know, so did I. It has a lot of memories. So for those of us, of course, who have never ever been to Robben Island, and we most probably will never go to Robben Island, this cell is here to showcase that.
So
this
true.
cell is here to show us what the people went through. So
Yes.
here we have the plates and the bowls and the cups that they used, the limestone that prisoners were mining,
Yeah.
and then we have seashells just to show the shores in the bay of the ocean. After all, it was an island. We have some images of how the prison looked outside.
Yeah.
And the thing about Robben Island is it was very secure.
Yeah.
So even if you escape from Robben Island, where
Where
would
do
you
you go? Like, where will you go? In the sea,
Exactly.
under the
Where would
water
you
to
go?
hide?
Under the
Habo,
water, you
yeah.
would swim to the Table Mountain.
Yeah.
So that's where they kept high risk prisoners. But after all, after 27 years, Nelson Mandela was released.
Yes.
Yes, he had a conversation. What's the president's name? F.W. de Klerk came to visit Nelson Mandela
Yeah.
several times in prison, and after long talks, he decided to set Mandela free. And the next year,
He became president. But it's, of course, time to explore further. So let's go.
let's go.
Now we're still exploring the cell in which Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was in. So if you look right here, we of course have the telephone that they used when they would get visitors on the island. Now, the visitors that he would get on the island were people such as F.W. de Klerk, of course, nearing the times when he was almost released, and of course his wife and children, Winnie Mandela, would also come and visit at the island, but this could only happen once every 6 months. Like, what was the point, you know? So this is that beautiful area, and I must say it's so good to see that the Independence Memorial Museum in Namibia, of course, have this beautiful this beautiful stuff for everybody to look at and get a feel and a touch of how it looked like on the Robben Island. Because remember, as Aziza said earlier, Robben Island was not only a place where Nelson Mandela or South African prisoners were kept, but our Namibian heroes were also on the island. our heroes such as, of course, Andimba Toivo and a few others. And if you want to find out more, you need to stay glued to your screens.
Well, that was an interesting journey.
Super interesting. I had loads of fun. You know, it's so much fun always being here to learn, find something new, and just explore.
Exactly. What a great way to end off our Nelson Mandela Day week here on My Zone Active Kids.
Most
But
definitely.
Of course, we visited the Robben Island. We a replica of the cell in Robben Island, and that was amazing. But of course, now it's time to go take a look at what our coolest friends are up to, right?
Yes. So let's head over to
Zoe
Zoe and
and
Zeki.
Hello, how are you? I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. Hooray! Hello, how are you? I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. Hooray! Hello, my beautiful friends. My name is Zoe.
Well, hello there, friends. My name is Zeki.
And we are niece and nephew.
I'm super excited to be outside.
We outside.
Outside.
That's right, Zeki. And you know what? It's a bittersweet moment. And do you know why is that?
Well, of course, because it's a Friday and it's the last day for this week's theme.
Well, you got that right. As much as I don't want the theme to end, I am happy it's Friday because why? We're gonna have so much fun.
So, Zoe, so since we're at the Independence Memorial Museum and we got to see the Robben Island up close.
A replica, Zeki.
Yes,
A replica of the cell.
What do you think about it?
Well, I absolutely loved it. Well, actually, I loved seeing it, but personally, I wouldn't want to be in there. Did you see how small it is? Such a tight space. It didn't suit me, but to think that that's where our heroes stayed is absolutely wild.
Our heroes definitely are very brave, and that's why they're our heroes. So I'm so excited to be in the cell that Nelson Mandela was in because he's one of my icons. And also, I got to see how the island looks like in the picture. And now I know that even if you escape the prison, you will not be able to go back to Cape Town.
Well, absolutely not. There's no way to escape the island, not even if you try to swim off the shore. And that's why it was a high sentence prison. But you know what else I really enjoyed?
What else,
It's
Zoe?
the fact that they had more than just the cell, but also the telephone booth. Remember how we spoke during the week about how he would get visits and they would sit through a thick wall with a thick glass and a telephone in order to communicate.
So seeing it up close was definitely one of our highlights.
Well, it definitely was, and there was even the clothes that they wore.
We got to see the green attire that the prisoners wore, and we got to see a few pictures of how the prison looked like on the outside and the inside. We got to see that the prison had bunk beds, and it actually looked like hell.
It wasn't the prettiest place, Saki, but I guess it is a prison after all, and they did more than just that. You know that they also did mining at some point, right, Saki?
So true. I remember seeing is it the limestones? The limestones were also in the cell at the museum. Some white limestones.
Really pretty limestones, and even the bowls in which they ate, and the utensils, and all of those things. It was really pretty to see. If you want some insight, we definitely recommend going to the museum. What other part was your favorite, Saki?
Well, my favorite was being at the museum for the first time. Because I always just drive by that very beautiful building, but I was able to go on the inside. And as I got inside, I got to see so many historical moments. But of course, we are going to share with our friends as the amazing themes come.
And do you know what I just remembered?
What, Zoe?
It was in those exact cells of Robben Island that Nelson Mandela taught himself languages like Afrikaans, and he did a lot of reading and a lot of studying so that when he eventually gets out of there, he is going to be a smart person that is going to fight for the liberation.
True, Zoe. But of course, that's it for this very amazing theme for this week.
If there's one thing about the theme from this week, it definitely taught us a few lessons. If you end this week off and you still don't know who Nelson Mandela is,
You definitely were not paying any attention.
But you know what you can do? You can always go back and watch previous episodes. But now, Saki, I think it's time for a nice little song.
So we are gonna be singing Row Your Boat.
That's right.
And a one, and a two, and a 1, 2, 3.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily, life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
If you see a crocodile, don't forget to say, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a panda bear, don't forget to
freeze.
row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
If you see a frog, don't forget to kiss. Mwah, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile,
dinosaur,
don't forget to say, what?
We're gonna do that again, Zaki, right?
So fun.
And a one, and a two, and a 1, 2, 3. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream. Woo! Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a polar bear, don't forget to freeze. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a frog, don't forget to kiss. Mwah, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a dinosaur, don't forget to say, what?
Now, wasn't that fun, Zaki?
That was super, super fun.
But now it's, of course, time for our fun fact of the day.
Well, Zoe, did you know that Andimba Toivo shared a prison cell with Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela?
Wow! So we had some of our own in those cells too. Wow! How amazing! But that's the end of our theme for this week. See you next week, friends. Bye.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts. Just like that. Oh, did I tell you what my husband did?
Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking or cell phone banking, and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?
Well, friends, that was our journey at
The museum. Of course, today we were at the Independence Memorial Museum. We're touching on those few things that can, of course, remind us about Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. We visited the Robben Island. We've seen where he got visitors from, and we also you guys also got to find out that Namibians were also on the island.
That's right. But of course, from Hancho and I, this is the end of our episode and the end of our theme for the week. But
yeah.
you know what? It's not the end of Active Kids. So you guys need to
tune in again next week, same time,
Same
place. No,
place.
actually, it was probably a different place.
most probably a different place. That's
but
right.
but see you guys next week, friends. Bye.